Now, Dean, that's a great idea, but when is the end? When do we know when to sell? Okay, well, to answer that question, first and foremost, I'll point or direct your attention to this line that I have, which is, once again, the phi ratio. What is the phi ratio? The phi ratio is found in nature. Google it. And in technical analysis and Elliott wave theory, it's the maximum retracement of a B wave given the measurement of an A wave. Okay, so an A wave is an initial break of structure. It's usually in 3 waves. Sometimes you can be in 5 waves if you're forming a zigzag, but this is clearly a 3-wave structure. So this is a flat correction that we're looking at. Okay, that's why I drew a flat. That's why we're looking at a flat. Okay, and the phi ratio here, if you pull the fib on the A wave, is at 16 or 17 cents. Say 17 cents. I do not anticipate for us to break 17 cents. Once again, that's why I got that red line there. I can make it even thicker, but I don't need to. Okay. Hello everyone, my name's Dean. Let's talk crypto. This is where you subscribe for daily Bitcoin updates and technical analysis. We track the price of Bitcoin as a proxy for the cryptocurrency markets at large. Today is April 2nd, 2022, and this video is about VRA Verasity, and this is an update. And first we're going to start with what Bitcoin's doing, because that's the premise of this channel, right? Bitcoin typically allows the space for other altcoins to run. So we're going to quickly check on what Bitcoin's doing. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you what I see for VRA in the immediate short term and during the course of this entire uptrend that we're preparing to embark on. Okay, so I'm going to tell you what I think and what price targets I'm looking at. So if that sounds good to you, watch until the very end. All right, so Bitcoin. First and foremost, I think everybody knows my long-term long-term kind of view on what Bitcoin's doing is that we are in correction. We're in correction. We're in a flat correction, and we're essentially printing the B wave of that flat correction. So do you see this middle part right here is what we're in? And so if you want to be more specific, we could take, no, not that one. Let's take this right here, and I'm going to change the color in a second, but we're essentially doing something like this, okay? And this is what I'm seeing on a lot of different charts. Purple's not a good one. Let's see, green, okay? So this green one is exactly what I think we're doing and why we're going to move up to around 100K, but promptly thereafter come back down. Okay, so I'm seeing this flat correction. I'm seeing us being in a wave 3, but not yet finished the wave 3. Okay, and so after having corrected in this wave 3, I then see us continuing the bull run, right, to really, really high levels. But for now, I still see that we are in a corrective pattern, and that's why this flat correction looks so funny with the right leg being so much higher than the left one. It could be seen as a running flat, but and this isn't a Bitcoin video, but just really quickly, what kind of does not support the running flat theory is try to count 5 waves in this. All right, go on smaller time frames and try to count 5 waves in this. It's much easier for you to count 3. That's why I'm seeing that this, rather than being a 5-wave count, is a 3-wave count, and this is basically wave. This is wave B of B. Okay, so I'm saying that this is wave A, this is wave B, and we're going to get the impulsive wave of the correction before turning back down. Okay, so Bitcoin is allowing for some positive price action. Bitcoin is right now on the weekly time frame above the 21 EMA, the 55 EMA, and the 144 EMA. So expect positive price action. Expect, more specifically, Bitcoin to give us about, I think 100K is really where we're going to limit ourselves, given that that's such a psychological resistance for the market. 117%, okay, something thereabouts, 100%, 117%, okay. That's the premise, okay. We track the price of Bitcoin as a proxy for the cryptocurrency markets at large. That then allows us to look seriously at altcoins, okay, like VRA, okay. And in the same way that Bitcoin's in a flat correction, I'm seeing VRA being in a flat correction, okay. I'm seeing this flat correction being something like this, okay. So I do anticipate VRA to go up in the immediate short term and in the medium term, but on the longer time frame, I'm not expecting positive price action. I'm actually expecting us to have a big leg down. So this middle wave is what we're concerned with, okay? Holders, most of you are spot holders, and that's a smart thing to do, especially when we're experiencing such positive price action. It's actually no reason to leverage trade this stuff. I mean, the kind of performance you're going to get from just buying and holding is much better, given the risk that that leverage trading entails, right? So you're much better off and the potential, let's say VRA went all the way to the 5 ratio. I'll get to that in a second. The potential here is about 4.5x. This is what I'm seeing. I don't think we're going to necessarily get to the 5 ratio, but we may, okay? So 4 to 4.5x is what I'm seeing as a top for this next run, okay? We've had 3 consecutive green weeks, okay? And I want to draw your attention to this one right here. This candle is particularly noteworthy because it's huge. It's a huge green candle. And this one that we're on right now, that's about to close in, a few hours because it's already Saturday Eastern Standard Time, has a nice bullish wick to the downside. And then why I'm thinking that this is going to be a big week for VRA is that we're right now just peaking above the 21 EMA. And what do you know about EMA is the 21 EMA is pretty much the bull market indicator. It's the positive price action indicator. When we're above it, you're going to go up. When you're below it, you're probably going to go down, okay? So I think we're going to have a really big week for VRA, and that's why. All right, what are my targets? So this is how I'm playing it. I entered a position in VRA not long ago, and I'm just going to ride this thing. Again, how did I get this red line? This red line is where I think we're maxing out. I don't see us breaking this red line, okay? I do not see this being a completed sort of flat correction. For much the same reasons, I didn't see this as being a 5-wave count. Try to count 5 waves in this. I'm referring to, the Elliott wave theory, where you count 5 waves in an impulse, and in any flat correction, any correction, the last of the waves is an impulsive wave, okay? So you should see 5 waves in there. Try and count 5 waves in there. It's much easier to count 3, okay? So that's why I'm seeing this is basically, as I put it, an A, B, C flat correction, and we're in the middle of it. We're basically in the B wave, and the B wave is counter to the A wave. Okay, now back to the red line. And the red line is what I think is the top of this run. You can call it a bull run. It's not really a bull run. This is a bull run, okay? This is an impulsive price action. This is positive price action, but positive price action does not a bull run make, in my opinion. All right, anyway, if you're appreciating this technical analysis, pure technical analysis, has nothing to do with the fundamentals. Not that the fundamentals are bad or anything like that. I'm just looking at the charts purely, not events, not lunar crush, not social media score, anything, just price action and some indicators, the charts. Like the video, share the video with others who you may also think may appreciate VRA technical analysis. They're buying VRA, they're thinking of buying VRA, and subscribe to the channel for more. All right. So what am I doing? Am I buying into, I'm a trader, okay? I trade leverage, I trade spot, I trade. I like to trade. I don't like to see my asset or whatever I'm buying depreciate and not, take profits. However, I might just ride this one out, and I'll tell you why. Given the speed of how these things move, it may be a good idea to ride it out. Example, this right here was okay, let's do that again. Let me zoom in. Okay, I'm referring to this. So this was in the A wave of this B wave. Okay, I'm saying that we're in a B wave, right? This is the B wave I'm referring to. Look at this A wave. Look how price moved, okay? Look at the time it took for this A wave to form. First and foremost, we started on the 19th of July, 2021, and the A wave completed on the 25th of October, okay? That took 98 days, about 3 months. So 3 months, and in the middle, you got a B wave, okay? Because this is a corrective wave, so it comes in 3, okay? But the first bit lasted 42 days, and in 42 days, you did 500%, okay? If you were to try to catch some little retracements here and there, you may have missed 20, 30, 40% of price action, okay? That's why I don't think it's a good idea to buy and sell. I think it's a great idea to get in on the bottom where we are right now. This is the floor, and just ride it up to the top. Okay, and I'm going to tell you my technique for riding it up to the top in a second. But for instance, look at this candle right here. This must be a wave 3. I don't know why I'm pulling the fibs on this. I'm just so used to pulling fibs. This candle right here is a 100% candle. Okay, you got that in 7 days, right? It's easy to miss, okay? And unless you're glued to your computer screen and your reads are perfect, if you try to time these things, you're probably going to miss out on some positive price action. It's better to just buy and hold until the end. So that is my advice. That's my technique. That's what I'm going to do. Now, I know what you're asking yourself or what you're thinking. Now, Dean, that's a great idea, but when is the end? When do we know when to sell? Okay, well, to answer that question, first and foremost, I'll point or direct your attention to this line that I have, which is, once again, the phi ratio. What is the phi ratio? The phi ratio is found in nature. Google it. And in technical analysis and Elliott wave theory, it's the maximum retracement of a B wave given the measurement of an A wave. Okay, so an A wave is an initial break of structure. It's usually in 3 waves. Sometimes you can be in 5 waves if you're forming a zigzag, but this is clearly a 3-wave structure, so this is a flat correction that we're looking at. Okay, that's why I drew a flat. That's why we're looking at a flat. Okay, and the phi ratio here, if you pull the fib on the A wave, is at 16 or 17 cents. Say 17 cents. I do not anticipate for us to break 17 cents. Once again, that's why I got that red line there. I can make it even thicker, but I don't need to. I don't anticipate for us to break 17%. I believe that 4.5x is the top maximum sort of positive price action for VRA. If you're looking for more, what you do is you ride this out, you sell when you think it's done, and then you get in another coin that has yet to finish. That's the technique. Now, when is it done? 2 ways to do this. Go on a smaller time frame, like a daily, and try and count 5 waves. And I'll give you an example. Once again, if you're appreciating the technical analysis, I'm a professional crypto trader. I do this for a living. It's how I pay my bills and everything. Like the video, share the video, and subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell notification. Here, I'm going to turn the EMAs off, okay? Just so there's less noise on the chart. Right. And now, I'll say, if you can count waves, you can count 5 waves. We're in an impulse, so theoretically, you should see 5 waves. And once you finish counting 5 waves, we should be done, okay? So here, for instance, the first part of the A wave is 5 waves, and then you get 3 waves, and then you get 5 more waves. So here, you can, whoops, that's not right. Here, let's fix this. Let's fix this. This is, waves are so much easier. No, that's not how we fix this. Waves are so much easier to count once they're finished, by the way. A little more tricky when they're going on. Sometimes you can count them fine when they're forming, but there's a lot of like tricks and sort of curveballs, right? Potential curveballs. So this is not necessarily the easiest way. This is just way number one. If you're so inclined, if you happen to be particularly talented at counting Elliott waves or inclined to count Elliott waves, count your waves. You can use your Fibonacci extension tool to confirm your counts, right? You can use other methods to confirm counts as well, right? You can look them up on the internet. So extended third wave, right, at the 2236, right, and then dip for the wave 4 and then wave 5. That was your 5-wave impulse. Okay, now you could do that, but again, counting waves is challenging, especially when they're forming. What am I doing? I'm going to probably use a combination of counting waves and basic levels, okay, support and resistance. So I'm counting, I'm going to use support and resistance in pattern analysis, okay? So I know that we're going to form a pattern kind of like this, and I'm looking for resistances, okay? So I'm looking for a resistance about, here, let's get off this. I'm anticipating, rather, resistance here. I'm anticipating some resistance here, okay? And I'm anticipating a little bit of resistance at the top, at the all-time high, okay? And this is just fundamentally kind of logical, right? So resistance is what? It's where there's a lot of buying and selling, where if once we get there, people sell off, okay? And people kind of previously held positions. So people obviously held positions at the previous all-time high, right? Because a lot of people, once they hear that something reached all-time high, they buy, okay? For some reason, they think it's going to continue to go up if they're not really savvy, right? So there's clearly a lot of people that have bought at this level, clearly a lot of people that probably want to sell at this level. There's going to be some resistance at this level, okay? Now, what about this level that we're on right now? It's clearly some resistance, right? Because just that's what the chart is showing me. So that's what I would do. I would just use the chart and see the resistance, okay? Obviously, we're not going to stop here because this pattern needs to play out and we need 5 waves. So I would say once we get around here, start looking for an end. But a lot of times, these patterns, these B waves, tend to go up a little above the previous all-time high. So I do expect us to pop over and form a new all-time high. Okay, and so that's what I'm planning for. I'm not looking to sell anytime before the all-time high. Okay, and then the last thing I would do is you can pull fib. So Fibonacci retracement tool from the top of the A to the bottom, just like how I got the phi ratio. We typically, for some reason, and I don't know why, but just in my experience, pop up like a third of the way into the Fibonacci band between the 1236 and the 1618. That tends to be the high. Not for every asset, but Bitcoin likes to do that. Other assets go a little further and closer to the 1618. But I would look to sell between 8.5 cents and 17 cents. I know that's a wide range, but hey, that's the best I can do. There's no magic formula. There's not enough buying and selling information to use the VPVR, okay? So I would say just, use a combination of those methods. Try to count waves. Try to look for basic support and resistance. I wouldn't look to sell before we hit 8.5 cents, which is previous all-time high, and know that the maximum is 17 cents. That's it for me on this. I wish you the best of luck. Go VRA. I hope you make a lot of money. And that's it for this update. Hope this was helpful. Hope this was useful. Talk to you soon.